Welcome to Foundation Friday. The dedication and covenant of silent unity was signed on December 7th, 1892 by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, founders of the Unity movement. It is unlikely when they signed this covenant that they had any idea how far-reaching unity would be as it evolved into the church we know and love today. We invite you to join us as we explore and share some of the original ideas, teachings, and writings of the men and women who created the foundation of the Unity Church.
Hi, thank you for joining us today for our Foundation Friday program. Today we are going back in time to 1975. This is a talk that was delivered by Eric Butterworth on December 6th, and it's titled Humility. Here we go. I believe that the first test of a truly great man is his humility, wrote John Ruskin. All about us, we see arrogance and the refusal to admit mistakes. The prophet Micah, in one short verse, set forth an injunction for the manner of living epitomized in the loftiest spiritual ideal. What doth God require of thee but to do justly and to love kindness and to walk humbly with thy God? We see this realized in Jesus, who never took credit for good works accomplished. I speak not for myself, but for the Father abiding in me doeth his works. Who shall exalt himself shall be humbled, and whosoever shall humble himself shall be exalted. If any man shall be first, he shall be last of all, and servant of all. He likewise stated in the Beatitudes, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Of himself, he said, "I am meek and lowly in heart." When he used the word meekness, there was something quite different in his mind. The ancient Greek paris, which we translate as meek, really connotes tame in the sense of not wild and unrestrained. The word meek, as used by Jesus, indicated those who are happy and willing to submit themselves to the creative process within and allow the divine action to be fulfilled in their lives. To permit divine guidance and inspiration to move them, to get plugged in or turned on from an inner source. The Orientals have an expression, meekness compels God himself. God is not a capricious being who makes his children grovel before him and obey without questions, but rather he is a great essence of life and light and substance, flowing in and through those who are the most non-resistant channels. Meekness essentially denotes a consciousness toward God. It has nothing to do with cowering before others or letting them push you around. It means rather a receptivity and a non-resistance to God, to that which is within you. It leads to humility, for to be a good conductor of the light and substance of spirit, our entire consciousness and character must be free from resistance, free from bitterness, and from the limiting thoughts of the ego. Jesus was not physically any different from you and me, but he became the powerful one that he was because he submitted wholeheartedly to the flow of the Spirit in and through him. To his disciples, he stressed the need for open-mindedness and spiritual understanding, for freedom from pride or possessiveness or authority. Jesus realized as few before or since that spiritual growth hinges on a receptive attitude, a teachable spirit, a consciousness not blocked by pride or position or accumulation of good. Meekness and humility are really a sensitivity or a surrender of consciousness to the influence of something, an inner something. Man is so constituted that he becomes much like that to which he gives his attention. This is the law of his being. As the poet says, God, if thou seest God, dust, if thou seest dust. A person who continues to grant attention to an object or a condition, whatever it may be, reveals more and more of its qualities, attributes, and nature, finally uncovering to the beholder its purpose and its meaning. Psychologically observed, what enters the mind sooner or later becomes motive in the body. The one who ponders persistently on music in study and enjoyment becomes, in a sense, the very incarnation of music. His presence exudes it. He bears about him the distinction of a musician. A truly qualified craftsman shows it in his posture, his way of doing things, his manner of moving about. When a man gives himself completely to the learning of his trade and is entirely willing to meet its demands on him, he is practicing humility as Jesus intended him to, for he is being truly receptive and responsive to a creative process through him until it actually comes out his fingertips. The meek apprentice becomes in time the master craftsman, animated by the spirit of his craft and accomplished and skillful in it. The artlessness he bears, his attunement with his calling, carries with it no sense of heavy labor. Rather, he has a sense of lightsome joy, not simply getting money, but giving of himself, and the best that is within him becomes his objective in life. And to such a workman's heart and mind come rewards unmatched, with consequent recognition. In a very real sense, it is the meek who inherit the earth. When a person gives his attention to God, to the intuitive and inspirational, he does great things, knowing all the time how much he depends on the inner source. He knows he cannot go it alone. True confidence is rooted in humility. The truly humble individual may even appear egotistical. He may amaze others with his self-confidence, his sureness, even his brashness. But in his inner life, he is in total acceptance of, I of myself can do nothing. There are to be seen successful people who are actually failures, so dependent on constant attention for personal reassurance that they must go on creating a great show to mask their inner fear of failure and of insufficiency. Such are crushed if something does not succeed for them, and they fly into a rage if they are criticized. Others might be called failures, but they are really successful, for they are fulfilling that which they are led to do and giving themselves to be in genuine humility. They are free from pride or fear of failure, giving them a determination that keeps them going against many odds. It was the humility of Jesus that made his word so authoritative, his life so great, and the Christian movement of its beginnings so compelling and so lasting even today. Whenever religious leaders in Christianity or any religious or social political movement have become pompous, self-righteous, egotistical, and so forth, they have forsaken the true ideal. In this case of Christianity, the power of humility is beyond calculation. Any individual can alter his life for the good by pursuing this idea of humility. It is well to remember that if we are suspicious or resistant or hurt about or toward other people, it is because something in us needs resolving. The true humility enables us to go about performing a task, attempting our responsibilities, no matter what is said or done by others. All of us need to understand that humility is needed to resolve the conflicts that lead to the inhumanity of war and exploitation. It is the most needed quality in the world and in the lives of all of us. Genuine, true humility, not a put on display to attract attention. Humility is not putting on a show, it is a feeling, a sense of inner oneness, a receptivity to the divine flow. It is an acknowledgement that I of myself can do nothing, but with that inner power, I do all things. In a worldly life, it is confidence, it is assurance, it is drive, all based on the realization, as Abraham Lincoln said, without the help of him who attends me, I cannot succeed. But with that help, I cannot fail. So that was Eric Butterworth's essay on humility. I like the definition of humility being teachability, opening ourselves to learn as a little child learns, with a sense of awe, acceptance, and wonder. I hope you enjoyed today's talk, but before we go, please know you matter. You are sacred, and you are so, so very loved. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.